She'll never say it out loud, but she'll feel it if you get it right. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." Women today are more independent than ever, but with that freedom has come a new complexity in relationships. Many men feel confused, lost, or powerless in the face of modern female behavior. You may think you're doing everything right, being kind, attentive, supportive, and still be met with indifference, coldness, or emotional distance. Here's the truth. Women rarely express their deepest desires with words. They express them with emotions, with energy, with subtle cues. But if you don't understand them, you'll miss every signal. In this video, we're going beyond the surface level advice and revealing the 10 hidden desires women have. Desires they feel but often don't know how to explain, or fear being judged for revealing. You'll learn why women crave emotional presence more than material gifts, how feminine energy seeks masculine grounding in the chaos, why a man's mystery is more attractive than his muscle, what really makes her loyal, not just attracted, and most importantly, how a man grounded in Stoic wisdom can fulfill these desires without becoming a slave to them. This isn't about simping. This is about seeing clearly, acting wisely, and staying grounded in your masculine power, while understanding what truly moves a woman's soul. Let's begin. Desire 1. Emotional safety. She wants to collapse into you without fear. She may not say it, but she's looking for a space to fall apart, and trust that you won't. One of the deepest emotional desires of a woman is to feel emotionally safe, not just safe from harm, but safe to express, to feel, to be vulnerable. In a world that constantly tells her be strong, perform, compete, and never need anyone, what she truly longs for is a man who is so steady she can finally exhale. But here's the trap most men fall into. They think emotional safety means agreeing with her all the time, or fixing all her problems, or becoming her emotional sponge. That's not what she wants. What she wants is a man who doesn't flinch when she's emotional, a man who can hold the storm, not run from it. When she's overwhelmed, she wants to feel your presence, not your panic. The Stoic man becomes her safe place, not by being passive, but by being unshakable. That's the energy women want. When you stop being reactive, stop trying to fix her or fear her emotions, you become the grounded mountain in her emotional weather. And here's the paradox. Once she feels emotionally safe, she becomes more emotionally stable. She relaxes, she trusts, she respects, and above all, she connects. Women crave that kind of emotional containment, not control, not suppression. Containment. Your calm is her signal that everything is okay, and that is irresistibly attractive. Desire 2. Deep presence. She wants your attention, not just your time. In the modern world, we are surrounded by distractions, notifications, scrolling, multitasking, the constant pull of a digital life. Most men today are physically present but mentally absent, and women feel that. They sense the disconnection even if your body is right in front of them. Here's the secret desire she'll rarely admit. She doesn't just want your time, she wants your full, undivided attention. That means eye contact that doesn't wander, listening without interrupting, being in the moment with her, not thinking about work, your phone, or your next move. Women crave presence because it signals value. It says, you matter enough for me to be right here now with you. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology did. Presence is power. When you are fully present, you're no longer needy. You're no longer distracted. You're no longer chasing validation. You are in control, not of her, but of your own attention. A woman's nervous system will attune to your state. If you're scattered, she will feel unsafe. If you're deeply grounded, she will feel drawn to you like gravity. This is why a Stoic man trains his mind. He practices mindfulness not just for productivity, but for power in relationships. He knows that the greatest gift he can give is his conscious awareness. When she's speaking, don't think about what to say next. Be still. Listen. When you touch her, don't do it out of habit. Be intentional. Even silence becomes magnetic when it's infused with attention. Presence isn't a trick to attract women. It's a trait of a powerful man. And women instinctively feel the difference between a man who is there and a man who is truly there. The moment you stop rushing, stop proving, stop trying, and simply be is the moment she starts seeing you differently, because real men are rare. But present men are unforgettable. Desire 3, emotional adventure. She craves the unexpected in a safe frame. Here's a paradox that confuses many men. Women say they want security, but get bored when they have it. They claim they like nice guys, but chase the ones who challenge them. What's going on? It's not that women don't want emotional safety. They do, but emotional safety without emotional variety becomes emotional death. Here's one of her hidden desires. She wants a man who can create an adventure inside the relationship. She wants to feel things, unpredictability, mystery, challenge, but all within container of masculine stability. Women don't crave chaos. They crave contrast. In other words, don't be afraid to break her expectations, to play, to tease, to challenge, to disrupt the routine with a spark. The Stoic man is not robotic or boring. He is grounded but never predictable. He uses his emotional discipline to steer the relationship with intention. He brings adventure without drama, surprise without instability, playfulness without weakness. Because here's what modern men get wrong. They either go full nice guy mode, predictable, available, and overly agreeable, or they go cold and distant, mistaking detachment for power. But true Stoic masculinity lies in balance. Unshakable presence plus playful edge. So what does this look like in practice? Change the tone. Keep her guessing, not confused, but curious. Introduce new energy into routine moments. Dance in the kitchen. Tease her at dinner. Send a bold message midday. Say no sometimes, even when she expects a yes. Not to reject her, but to show that you have your own center. Remember, women are emotional beings. They connect through feeling, not logic. If she feels the same thing every day, she will slowly disconnect. Not because she doesn't love you, but because she no longer feels alive around you. Your job isn't to be her therapist. Your job is to be her unexpected storm and safe harbor. At the same time, the Stoic man isn't a clown. He isn't a slave. He is the architect of emotional polarity. Calm on the surface, but deeply alive underneath. This polarity is what keeps her obsessed. It's not about manipulation. It's about mastery of your masculine energy. She won't tell you this desire, but she will drift away from the man who doesn't understand it. Be calm, be strong, and stay unpredictable. Desire 4, emotional leadership. She wants to be led without losing herself. Here's a truth that many men, and even many women, don't fully understand. A woman doesn't want to be controlled, but she does want to be led emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. And that distinction is everything. Control is about domination. Leadership is about direction with strength and care. Control suffocates. Leadership liberates. The Stoic man doesn't lead for ego or power. He leads because he has clarity. He knows where he's going. He knows who he is. He doesn't seek permission. He offers direction. And here's where the hidden desire comes in. Women subconsciously crave this from a man. They want a man whose energy feels stable, decisive, and anchored, especially when their own emotions are turbulent. Modern culture has told women to be hyper-independent, to never rely on anyone. But beneath that armor, most women are exhausted from being in their masculine energy all the time. They crave a man who can gently invite them back into their feminine, not by force, but by providing emotional safety through grounded leadership. So what does emotional leadership look like? When she's overwhelmed, you don't react, you hold space. You listen deeply without trying to fix. When conflict arises, you stay calm. You guide the conversation, not by raising your voice, but by lowering your tension. You're the one who says, let's pause, let's talk later when we've cooled down. That's leadership. You make decisions with confidence, not dictator style, but like a man who's considered both logic and care. You take responsibility for the direction of the relationship, not in a controlling way, but with intentionality. Women may not say it directly, but deep down, they yearn for this type of man, the kind who can weather their storms without being shaken. Because here's the truth. A woman will test you, not because she wants to break you, but because she wants to trust that you won't break. She wants to know, can this man handle me at my worst? Can I relax into my softness without worrying that he'll collapse? The Stoic man answers with action, not promises. He becomes the emotional compass, not just for her, but for himself. This is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally sovereign. A man who cannot lead his own emotions cannot lead anyone else. But a man who has tamed his inner chaos becomes the anchor that women naturally gravitate toward. That's the man she respects. That's the man she opens to. That's the man she follows. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. Desire 5, to be deeply seen, beyond her beauty, beyond the act. Every woman desires to feel beautiful, but more than that, she desires to be understood, not just admired for her looks, but seen for her soul. And here's the truth many men miss. A woman can feel when she's being looked at, but not seen. She can feel when your attention is only on her curves, but not on her character. She knows when she's being desired, but not appreciated. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This is where Stoic wisdom becomes powerful, not just for inner discipline, but for the depth of your perception. The Stoic man trains his eyes not only to see the external, but to notice what others ignore. He observes the way she avoids eye contact when vulnerable. He notices a tremble in her voice when she's holding something back. He hears the story between her words. Why does this matter? Because in a world of shallow attention, most women are starving for depth. They're exhausted from performing, pretending, posting, and proving. They want a man who can gently say, "I see you," not the mask, not the makeup, you. And here's what happens when a woman feels seen by such a man. She opens up emotionally in a way she hasn't in years. She trusts you with her insecurities. She shows you her playful, messy, wild side that no one else sees. But to reach that level of connection, you must stop projecting and start perceiving. Stop assuming you know her because she's beautiful. Stop thinking attention equals affection. The Stoic man leads with presence, and presence is a rare gift in this age of distraction. So what can you do to develop this presence? Practice silence. Let her fill the space with her truth. Ask questions that touch her mind, and not just her day. Observe without judgment. Listen without interrupting. Let go of the need to impress, and instead seek to understand. Because here's what women truly desire. A man who sees beyond the physical. A man who listens not just with his ears, but with his heart. A man who makes her feel like she exists, not as a trophy, but as a human being. And that man, rooted in calm attention, not needy validation, is unforgettable. She may forget your compliments. She may forget your gifts. But she'll never forget the man who truly saw her. Desire 6, to feel your strength, but still be able to test it. This will confuse most men and frustrate them. Women say they want strength, but then they constantly test it. They claim to want calm, confident men, but then provoke arguments, go cold, or throw emotional curveballs. Why? Because a woman doesn't just want to hear that you're strong. She wants to feel it, especially when she's at her most chaotic. Marcus Aurelius said, "How much more harmful are the consequences of anger than the circumstances that arouse them in us?" She wants to know, will you collapse under emotional pressure? Will you lose your cool when she pulls away? Will you lash out when she challenges your opinion? This is not about manipulation. It's about testing the frame, the masculine container. Think of it like this. A woman's emotions are like a storm, and your masculine energy, it's the mountain. She doesn't want the mountain to disappear when the wind blows. She wants to see if it's real. It stands tall even when thunder roars. And here's the Stoic twist. The more grounded you are in self-mastery, the less her emotional waves shake you. You respond, not react. You hold space, not control. You protect your peace, not chase her validation. So, what does this look like in real life? When she gives you the silent treatment, you don't panic. You stay centered. When she throws an emotional jab, you don't strike back. You pause and observe. When she tries to pull drama from you, you offer peace, not passivity, but presence. This is how you train her nervous system to trust yours. Because deep down, women don't want men who are perfect robots. They want men who remain powerful, even when emotionally provoked. It's in these small but high-pressure moments that she subconsciously asks, is this a man I can lean on or one I have to manage? And when you prove, through your stillness, that you're not thrown by tests, you become more than attractive. You become undeniable. Because calm, unshakable men are rare. And in a world where every man is chasing attention, defending his ego, or reacting like a boy, the Stoic man becomes the one she respects, desires, and trusts. So remember, don't fear her tests. They are not the problem. They are the proof of who you are. Let the storm come. The mountain never moves. Desire 7, emotional depth without emotional chaos. There's a powerful contradiction buried deep inside most women. They crave emotional connection, but despise emotional instability. They want a man who can feel deeply, but not fall apart. They want vulnerability, but only when it's paired with control. This is where most men fail. They believe that to attract a woman, they must suppress emotion entirely or dump all of it in her lap. Both are turn-offs. What women truly want is this: a man who has walked through the fire of his own emotions and come out stronger, not shattered. Let's break this down through the lens of Stoicism. Stoics never taught us to kill emotion. They taught us to command it, to acknowledge what we feel, then act according to virtue, not impulse. In today's world, women are flooded with men who cry for attention but call it being vulnerable, overshare insecurities without taking responsibility for growth, or hide behind a stone wall, refusing to feel anything at all. But the Stoic man, he knows how to say, I feel sadness, but I won't drown in it. I feel anger, but I won't let it turn into cruelty. I feel desire, but I won't abandon my discipline for it. This level of emotional depth is magnetic. Why? Because most women are emotional by nature, but very few have true emotional stability in their lives, especially for men. When you show her that you're not afraid to feel, but never let your feelings control you, she feels safe, not just physically, but emotionally. And emotional safety is what unlocks her deepest level of intimacy, respect, and even obsession. Here's how to embody this. Don't numb your emotions, name them. Then choose your response. When you're hurt, say it calmly. When you're stressed, breathe deeper. Make peace with your emotional storms. And never ask her to solve them for you. Emotional chaos makes women feel like they have to become your mother. Emotional mastery makes her want to be your woman. So remember this. She's not looking for a machine. She's looking for a man who's done the inner work and keeps doing it. In a world of men who either break down or shut down, be the one who feels deeply and stands firm. That's the kind of emotional gravity that keeps a woman circling your orbit. Desire 8. Freedom within love, the paradox women crave. One of the biggest lies men believe is this. If I love her, I must always be available. If I give her freedom, she'll leave. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The more freedom you give her, the more she'll crave your presence. Let's break down this paradox. Women say they want love, attention, time, commitment. But what they really want, deep in their emotional core, is a man who loves them without owning them. They don't want prisoners of passion. They want pillars of peace. In modern relationships, most men smother or suffocate. They check her phone, question her friends, overtext, overthink, overexplain. And what happens? The woman pulls away. Why? Because obsession without space feels like emotional chains. But when a stoic man gives a woman space, when he doesn't flinch if she's late to reply, when he doesn't spiral if she's distant for a day, she starts to lean in, not because she has to, but because she wants to. Stoicism teaches us to own ourselves first. The moment you try to control her, you've already lost control of yourself. Women respect the man who doesn't chase. They obsess over the man who doesn't need them, but still chooses them. Here's how to embody the Stoic principle in love. Allow her to have her world, while you remain centered in your own. Don't try to lock her down. Let her choose to stay and be so grounded she always does. Never let fear make you cling. Let confidence make you still. The modern woman, overwhelmed by weak men who panic over distance, finds it irresistible when you don't flinch at it. Your freedom reminds her of your strength, and that strength makes her feel more drawn, not less. It's the ultimate Stoic move. Give her space and watch her orbit come closer. Desire 9. A man with a mission, the magnetic pull of purpose. Have you ever noticed? The more obsessed you are with her, the less interested she becomes. But the moment you get busy, building, growing, achieving, suddenly she's curious, interested, invested. That's not a coincidence. That's female psychology. At her core, a woman does not want to be your purpose. She wants to belong to a man who already has won. Women are emotional, intuitive. They sense direction. They're drawn to energy. And when a man's energy is focused, his direction clear, his fire unstoppable, she follows. Why? Because purpose is masculine gravity. The modern man often reverses this dynamic. He gives up his mission to spend more time with her. He pauses his workouts, skips his goals, compromises his identity, and she begins to withdraw, not because she doesn't love him, but because he stopped being the man she fell for, a man with direction. In Stoicism, your mission is your inner fortress. It's what keeps you anchored when emotions try to drag you down. It's what makes you a mountain, not a leaf blowing her moods. Here's how to implement this today. Start each day with your purpose, not your phone. Build something, skills, business, body, legacy, that's independent of her validation. Make her a complement to your life, not the center of it. Because a man on a mission is rare, and women aren't obsessed with men who are always available. They obsess over the ones who are occasionally unavailable for the right reasons. If she feels like she's chasing your time, your energy, your presence, she respects you. If she feels like she owns it, she loses attraction. So live with purpose. Let your actions scream your mission. And watch how the right woman doesn't run from that power. She gravitates toward it. Desire 10. Emotional leadership. The silent desire behind every test. There's something she'll never say out loud. She doesn't want to lead. She tests to see if you will. In moments of chaos, stress, or indecision, she doesn't want to make the plan. She wants to feel safe in your ability to guide. Modern women are told to be strong, independent, and decisive. And many are, but deep down, in intimate relationships, women want to relax into their feminine. Only when a man confidently leads from his masculine. This doesn't mean being controlling. This means being emotionally grounded when she's spinning. It means making decisions when she's overwhelmed. It means creating structure when things feel uncertain. This is what Stoics call governing the self first, then the situation. When she's angry, emotional, testing you, it's rarely about the issue. It's about emotional security. She wants to feel like you can handle her and still hold your frame. If you react like a boy, shouting, pouting, or withdrawing, she instantly loses trust. Not because you failed the moment, but because you failed to contain the moment. Here's how to lead emotionally. Pause before reacting. The Stoic man controls his first impulse. Speak clearly, directly, without aggression or apology. Define what you will and won't tolerate. Calmly, offer stability, not chaos. Logic, not emotional confusion. When you become a lighthouse, still, calm, unwavering, she feels it. She stops pushing. She starts trusting. Because here's the truth. A woman is only truly attracted to a man she respects. And she only respects a man who leads himself first, then guides her without force. Emotional leadership is not about dominance. It's about direction. And when you give her that, you unlock the deepest of her hidden desires, to surrender her heart to a man she can trust. Final Stoic advice: lead yourself, and she'll follow your energy. Every man is searching for a path to connection, but very few realize connection is not earned through chasing. It is built through being. What women truly desire isn't some magic trick or manipulative tactic. They want a man who knows himself, who doesn't flinch when tested, and who moves with purpose, presence, and principle. And Stoicism? It teaches you to become that man, not just for her, but for yourself. Because when you master your emotions, set strong boundaries, stay committed to your path, speak with conviction and calm, you become undeniable. You no longer ask, what does she want from me? You start to ask, what do I want to build? Who do I want to be? And in that powerful shift, women notice. They feel it. They respect it. They desire it. That's not seduction. That's energy. Remember, women don't obsess over chaos. They are drawn to order. They don't crave submission. They want safe direction. They don't need perfection. They long for presence. The Stoic man gives all of that without losing himself. So don't play games. Don't fake dominance. Don't chase. Instead, lead yourself. Let her feel your groundedness. Let her sense your clarity. Let her test your edges. And smile knowing you don't need her approval. Because the Stoic doesn't demand respect. He earns it by being the man she can't shake, and the man he's proud to become. This is Stoic Desire. If you're ready to lead with emotional power, purpose, and masculinity grounded in timeless wisdom, subscribe right now. Because here we don't beg, we don't break, we become unshakable. Let her wonder, let her chase, let her feel the pull of a man who is complete, with or without her. Turn on notifications. More ancient truth and modern mastery is coming.